for his first laps going in the opposite direction from the times you've been here before at the Speedway. Two-time Formula One champion, three-time runner-up. We are really thrilled to have you here. And I guess I'm just going to kick this off really simply and just ask you, most of the guys, when they come and run here, and we run on the road course to begin with, for them it's backwards. But for you, you spent 7 or 8 years here running this direction, and now today you're running the opposite direction. Did it seem strange to you to run the Speedway in oval configuration?
Well, hello everyone. Yeah, definitely it felt new to me, and it felt a little bit strange, driving anti-clockwise and at those speeds. At the beginning, we went through the rookie orientation program with different stages and different speeds, which it really helped, the way you build your speed and you get up to speed. So that was the first thing, and then later on the day we were doing some runs just for myself to get a little bit familiar to some of the setup changes they used to do on the car here. Some of the even some of the procedures, now when we had some drops of rain on the visor, we slow down. We were on the pace car simulation, and we did some kind of procedures there. So yeah, it has been a very helpful day in terms of knowing all these different world, these different techniques on driving, and get up to speed a little bit. Still a long way to go, but I think I'm happy with this first step.
So when you come back in May, you'll have several days of practice and qualifying, but then race day, you're going to have a venue that's almost completely full. So where you're here, where it was empty. But did you notice there were a bunch of people hanging out just watching you run from turn 2 with flags, and did you get a chance to see the fans that were out there?
I saw them on the way out of the pit lane. When you're driving, in the normal time lap, you are not able to see anyone. I don't know, probably on the race day, yes, but not today. But every time that I was going out of the pit lane, I saw the people there. So thanks for coming.
And then the final question, you talked a little bit about, and then we'll open it up to some others, but you talked a little bit about the raindrops and what that is. You had a little bit of an incident. You got some other kind of drops on the car from some birds. So did you know those were coming? Or
no, did you... I didn't saw that one coming. I saw one bird approaching 10-3 in the penultimate run, and I just lift off and avoid the bird. Probably I will not do that on the race day, but today I saved one life there. But I didn't manage to save the other two. That apparently they came out of one, but those ones I didn't notice.
Well, with that, we'll go ahead and we'll open it up for some questions. Bruce, you want to go ahead and ask the first question? Susie, do you want to? Here's a second mic.
Bruce Martin with Auto Week magazine, working with Eric Bretzman as your engineer and Dave Popolars as your chief mechanic, and with Michael as your race strategist. How quickly have you been able to mesh with the team and form a communication bond?
Well, it has been fantastic help from the team. The team has been very, very supportive and very helpful. Not only today, I think the last 2 or 3 weeks we exchanged so much information every day on emails and things like that, that I think I was able to go into the test knowing more or less, most of the important things on the car and procedures and things like that. Then Michael, obviously, with experience and the help that he can offer is just something that is very unique. So we feel very, very privileged and happy. Marco this morning shaking down the car, making some setup changes already, thinking on how I could feel that car on the first time that I jump in. So everyone was really looking after me, and together with the people of Honda, we make also some setup work on the engine side with Gilles, the Ferran. The last 2 or 3 weeks we've been through many of the things that I was probably facing on this first day, and now we have a lot more things to go through after this test that will be much more useful, because at the moment we only watch races on television and we saw data on the simulator, which you always are not 100% sure if you can trust or not until you test the real car. So I think now we have a lot more things in the pocket that we need to go through.
Hi, Fernando. Welcome to the Speedway, by the way. Dave from Channel 13 in town. Is this a childhood dream come true to race here? What's your first recollection of the Indy 500 as a child? Do you remember?
Not really. Not really. I will lie to you if I say something different. You know, I was concentrating in go-karts and not even dream about Formula One when I was a child. You know, because everything seems, you know, too far away, too difficult to reach. So, you know, I was taking step by step in different go-kart categories, and then on the single-seater, first the World Series and second the Formula 3000. So, you know, eventually one day you arrive to Formula One and you realize that you are a F1 driver. And probably my first Indy memory will be Jacques Villeneuve win here, and then coming to Formula One. Then Juan Pablo doing the same in 2000, I think it was the year. So those were the first memories that I have from this place. So when we came here in Formula One, it was just something special because we were racing first in the States, which is always something amazing for Formula One, and secondly on the biggest place in the world. So I remember coming here. I think it was 2004, the first year that I raced here, and yeah, I was taking pictures of the entrance of the Speedway, you know, capital of the world, motorsport, and I was taking pictures. So it's a special place for motorsport in general. So to race here in May and on the Indy 500 it feels quite a big thing.
Fernando, Chris Woodlick, CBS4. I don't know what your expectations were getting into that car, but did the emotion and the feel in the car meet that expectation for you, or was it different?
I think what I felt in the car, it was more or less what I expect. Also thanks to the simulator test that we did in the last couple of weeks. So I think it's quite realistic what you feel there. So more or less what I experienced today, it was expected. What is different now is my excitement of the race itself. You know, I am, you know, very excited about the race. But now that I test the car and I drove the car, I'm much more focused and concentrate on the work in business than the whole thing. You know, so you know, everyone stopped me until this place. So how excited are you now, and how, you know, what you felt in the car? And I cannot answer. You know, I'm excited, yes, but I want to go down and talk with the engineers about the last few things that we test. You know, so it changed a little bit the way, you know, you prepare the race now after testing the car, because, you know, there are, you know, so many things to go through with the guys, you know, in the technical aspect, that all the emotional aspect is a second priority now.
Bienvenido, Fernando. My name is Gustavo Escalante. I represent the Hispanic business community, and I would like to ask you a question in Spanish for our Spanish community. Todos sabemos que una de tus metas es llegar a ganar la triple corona del mundo automotriz. ¿Podrías explicarle un poco a esa comunidad por qué ahora en tu carrera decidiste correr las 500 millas y dejar Mónaco a un lado? ¿Y cuál es la diferencia más importante entre un Fórmula 1, un carro de Fórmula 1 y el de IndyCar?
Bueno, pues la triple corona, lógicamente, para todo piloto es atractivo el poder correr en las mejores carreras del mundo contra los mejores pilotos del mundo, y después de tener la oportunidad de hacerlo en Fórmula 1, pues la idea de correr las 500 millas de Indianápolis o las 24 horas de Le Mans un día, pues es algo que seguramente es tentador, por lo menos intentarlo, y bueno, pues tengo la oportunidad este año, gracias a McLaren, a Honda, a Andretti, de poder disfrutar esta oportunidad y es un poco el sentido de todo este proyecto. Y luego las diferencias del Fórmula 1 al Indy, pues, yo creo que son dos mundos muy diferentes en cuanto a conducción. Un coche que está preparado para solamente rodar en óvalos, con muy poca carga aerodinámica, con muy poca resistencia al aire, rodando en grupo, aprovechando siempre los rebufos, el tráfico para mejorar tu tiempo, para mejorar tu posición. Y en Fórmula 1 es un poco una lucha contra el cronómetro, una lucha contigo mismo para buscar los límites del coche y de la máquina en unas condiciones ideales o perfectas, no teniendo nada que destruya un poco la perfección de esa vuelta. Y yo creo que esas son las diferencias mayores.
Gracias y bienvenido.
Gracias.
Fernando, Charlie Clifford, Channel 8 here in town. In your opinion, how big of a challenge will be learning how to drive in traffic here on the oval as opposed to what you're used to over across the pond on the F1 circuit?
Well, it's going to be probably the biggest challenge, running on traffic. I think there are a couple of things that I'm definitely not up to speed. One is the traffic thing that I think we need to go step by step. Today was just, running alone and try to feel the car, the circuit, and all the things that are involved with this technique. Second will be setting up the car. I think the guys they make constant changes to the car, one on the steering wheel while running, and also on the pit lane, adjusting the car, tiny changes, tuning the car perfectly on the week for the qualifying, and then doing the same on the race, and sometimes also on the pit stops, getting up to speed until the last part of the race. So on that aspect, I'm not up to speed. I'm not able at the moment to feel the car or the small changes that we can make to the car because I'm not driving the car. The car is driving myself around at the moment. So things that, we need to hopefully learn in the first days of free practice. And, as I said many times, I'm with the best team possible for that, even for the traffic thing. We are 6 cars, so, we will make sure that, I will arrive ready on Sunday 28th, with a lot of laps behind cars.
Tim May, Columbus Dispatch. Fernando, what is it like, though, you talked about, getting down to business stuff, but what is it like to go into turn one that first time at over 200 miles an hour? Was it anywhere close to what you thought it would be like? And just, was there a thrill factor even for a seasoned pro like yourself?
It was okay, I think, thanks to the rookie thing. So the first couple of laps, you lift off and then you go in the corner, so you start feeling the grip, the car, and you try to follow that target that you need to reach at the end of the lap in terms of the speed. So that was one thing. And then at one point they told me, okay, you're done with all the limitations, so you just need to do now 15 laps above 2:15. So run, free as you feel. And I knew that Marco was flat out in 10.1, so I said I will do flat out now in 10.1 because the car is able to do it. So I arrived to 10.1, and I was convinced 100% that I was doing flat out, but the foot was not flat out, has his own life, it was not connected, my brain with the foot at that moment. So at the second or third lap, I was able to do it. But in the first lap, it was definitely a very good feeling, to feel to be able to feel the respect of the place, the respect of the car, the respect of the speed, is something that for any racing driver is just pure adrenaline. So it was a good day.
Hi, John Orevitz of Japan Autosport. Fernando, what is the fastest corner in Formula One, and how is the speed and sensation of cornering here? How does it compare to that?
I don't know, corner probably will be 130R in Suzuka, which probably is 320 or 330 kph, which I have no idea in miles per hour, but it feels different. I think on the Formula One, the feeling of just the steering wheel with the power steering and all the helps we have, it feels a little bit easier. Also the level of downforce or the sophistication of the Formula One give you a little bit more grip and a little bit more predictable car. So here is just more raw, you know, everything is more racing. So it's definitely faster and different. But at the end of the day, we all started in go-karts, we all started in the smaller categories that, you know, probably we miss that kind of feeling when you get to Formula One and you have everything under control, you know, every single millimeter or every single tenth of the second. So here is more driver input, you know, in different phases of the corner or different run to run.
Mike Merritt from Associated Press. Fernando, how challenging were the conditions out there today, and did you get a good sense of how much this track can change over the course of a day?
The track definitely changed during the day. In the morning, I think the conditions were a little bit better, less windy or less gusty. I think the wind became a little bit strange now in the afternoon. But if the conditions were good or bad, I have no idea. You know, it's what the team was asking me, you know, how you feel there. I thought, I don't know, I feel good, but I have no idea, you know, I have no experience here when the circuit is good or bad or when the circuit is fast or slow. So definitely it get, in my opinion, worse throughout the day in terms of wind. I was feeling on the straights, the car was moving at the times in the last couple of runs. I think the weather was coming and pick up a little bit the wind, but it's very sensitive, this place, to wind and to climatic conditions. So everyone was telling me this before coming here, but yeah, we confirm it today. You know, we need to be always ready to set up the car for whatever conditions we have there.
Fernando, Jim Aiello with Indy Star and USA Today. You had talked about watching a lot of the 500s before you did this,
Yeah.
previous races, and then but you also said that you get a lot more out of watching them once you were able to get in the car. What are you looking forward to now to be able to watch some of the old 500s, and what do you think you'll be able to see now?
Yeah, we'll watch all of them again, you know, because now definitely the track is narrow than what I thought. You know, when you watch the television and you see 3 cars aside on the main straight, and now you are with the car on the main straight, and it's hard to imagine, you know, how you can fit 3 cars there and at that speed. So definitely you will see some of the moves and some of the things that you were watching before in a different perspective and in a different way. So I will re-watch everything. I have some planes to take, some hours on the flight to watch.
I was going to ask you, how is that all that, I mean, you're going to be traveling back and forth a lot. Has that had effect on you yet, or will it have an effect on you?
I think not anymore. You know, actually I started in the week before Australia, so and I was not coming back to home until after tomorrow that I will be there. So has been from the first week of March that I'm moving. So yeah, the next 4 days I will train a little bit and I will relax a little bit. I will see the family in Spain, and then is the Spanish Grand Prix on the next weekend. So yeah, a lot of flights, a lot of time zone difference, unfortunately, but you know, I'm pretty much okay at the moment.
Fernando, because these cars don't have the level of sophistication and technology that the Formula One car does, in many ways does it feel primitive? And because of that primitive feel, does it make it more fun for you to drive as a race driver?
It does. It does. I think, you know, you just, you know, they ask you if you are ready inside the car, you say yes, you switch on the car and you go. They put fuel tires and you go. While in Formula One, it takes maybe 6 minutes to fire up the car because they need to check, recheck. There are so much technology there, electronics, the hybrid system that needs to be linked with the combustion engine, the brake-by-wire, many things that slow down every run or every field that you may have on the car. So here is as you said, probably it's more fun because you just switch on the engine and you race.
All right, we'll take a couple more questions.
Fernando,
we have back to your engineers.
Sure.
We have an emailed question from Radio France. They want to know if you are coming to win or to have a great experience.
The moment I'm coming to have a great experience, that's for sure. It's something that you cannot miss, or you cannot lose that perspective and that target. It's just one or the best race in the world, and you are one of the 33 drivers on the grid, which is just by his own is just amazing thing. So that's the first thing. But after that, when you close the visor on Sunday or in qualifying, you don't like when you are second. So it's the same in every sport probably. I'm sure now the NBA players, they are doing the playoffs, so I'm sure they enjoy. They are thankful that they are on the playoffs this year. But if they lose the game, that day you don't have even dinner. You go to bed and you try to recover for the next day. So it will be the same here. So first priority is to enjoy the experience at the event, but we are all competitive drivers, and when we are there, we want to do the best we can.
Fernando, it's been a couple tough years for you in Formula One with the development of the car and everything in the engine. Does coming here and having a fresh challenge and a completely new challenge, does it help put a smile on your face and make things a little bit easier in light of what's going on in your day job?
Yeah, definitely helps. I think the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we had this thing building up, and getting up to speed with different things that we work on, and it keeps your head busy, from other things that may happen on the real world or in the real Formula One. So it's I think a good thing for us, for the whole team, to have this new motivation that we didn't expect 1 month ago. But the main focus, still Formula One and get up to a good position. The McLaren Honda combination is so strong and so powerful that at the moment we are under delivering and a lot in terms of competitiveness in Formula One, and we need to find and we are working to find the solution as soon as possible. But yeah, meanwhile, this Indy 500, I think, put a smile on everyone in the team. Even in Russia, I was preparing the race with the engineers, and the strategies came to me, with 2 or 3 paper, said, study this, these are the last 10 races there, so I prepare for you some charts to look at what they do. Some things make sense, some things doesn't make sense, but you will ask the team there because we don't understand exactly why they stop here or there. So everyone in the team is excited about this.
Well, you'll be back here in 12 days for the first practice day for the 101st running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Pengrade, and we're just 25 days away from race day. On behalf of the fans of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and fans around the world, we thank you for taking on this challenge. We thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Best of luck in your next race, and we'll see you on Monday when we get started on practice.
Thank you.